Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing okay today and that you're ready for some more The House in Fata Morgana. So last time we managed to befriend Nelly after some struggling and we got her on our side and we told her about Morgana in the tower, and she was very upset about hearing what her brother has been doing. And at first she didn't want to believe us, but then we managed to persuade her to come and see for herself what kind of a person her brother is. And now we have Mell cornered and he's going to tell us his tale. So we will see what he have to say for himself. Hello Dale, welcome, welcome. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are right now. I am quite eager to get started. I have been longing for this the entire day, actually. And we'll see how much my voice will manage today. But if my voice feels okay, I'm thinking that I could maybe stream for a little bit longer than I usually do. Not an endurance stream, but maybe around 3 hours instead of 2. We'll see if my voice is up for the task. But I hope it is. It has been feeling quite okay today, actually. Until now, right before I started streaming, now I was starting to cough and such, but hopefully it will be fine. So yeah, let's jump into the game, shall we? And as always, tell me if the sound is okay or not, because I can't hear the same thing as you guys. Gonna make sure I have sound on my end as well. There, I think that's a good volume for me. Until around the time I turned 17, my life was mostly uneventful. On days when it was nice out, I would take walks around the house's grounds, sometimes napping beneath a tree. It was picturesque. Time for lolly hat adventures, yeah. And you were always there with me. You have the same flax-colored hair as me, but yours always seemed to glisten in the sun, whereas mine is flat and dull. You shone like a tiny little dancing sun. At the time, I assumed that was how life would always be. I genuinely wanted it to be. Following my 17th birthday, though, I was met with a deluge of changes. First, father fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. With his death came the question of who would be the next head. As the oldest son, normally it would fall on me to take his place. I was 17, by all means enough of an adult to handle things myself. Or, well, that's what I thought anyway. Nobody else did, though. After discussions I had no part in, it was decided that my uncle would be the next head. That they weren't confident I had the spine to do the job properly. I wasn't sure what to think. Hi Fia, welcome! Part of me wanted to know why nobody bothered talking to me, and part of me was relieved. Somewhere inside, I knew I didn't have what it took. So I was more than happy to let someone else take the responsibility. If it meant I could go on with my quiet life, I didn't care who they picked. My uncle, though, seemed to have caught on onto my apathy. Apathy, my god. Which he did not take kindly to. You just woke up from a nap? Well, perfect, you're just in time. We just started doing Mel's perspective here, so you are right on time. And in response, he formally disowned me. You're not the only one who still had some growing up to do, Nelly. I wasn't quite the adult I thought I was either. Fortunately, if you want to call it fortune, I was given enough money to live on for a decent length of time, as well as a place to stay. It was a small house, far from home, his way of making it hard for me to come back. Not that I had any intention of returning. But the best thing to come out of it all was you coming with me, Nelly.
So this is your new home, dearest Mell?
Yep, so it is. It's amazing how little there is. No big yard, no paintings, no vases filled with colorful flowers, no silver bowls full of fresh picked fruit. Hi Dodo, welcome! But there is you and me. You're not going to go and say you want to return home in a couple of months when you realize life isn't as luxurious here as it was back there, are you?
There's only one thing in the whole wide world I really need.
Oh?
Honestly, I can live without shiny shoes and pretty dresses like Mother wears. I don't need composers to come and write me songs for my birthday. As long as I have the one thing that matters most to me, I can do it without anything else.
Are you saying...
I'm happy as I've ever been. I don't need all that fancy, expensive stuff. We may not have a huge yard, but the sun shines everywhere. Flowers can grow even without a gardener tending to them.
Nelly.
I'll do whatever I can for you, dearest Mell. Are you hungry? I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah, a bit.
Alright, I'll make something then. Start off with some fruit jam, then maybe make a pie out of it. What else sounds good? I'm craving cookies.
You got quite the sweet tooth. You're going to make yourself sick like that.
That's the first smile I've seen since we got here.
Well, that can't be right. I'm sure I've been smiling.
Nope, you've been frowny all day.
Whatever you say.
Forget about all that stuff at home. We got each other, we can do this. Who cares that we're not rich anymore? We'll figure things out in no time. And then we'll have even more fun than we did back there.
Yeah, you're right.
It'll all work out, dearest Mell. I'll always be here for you. You got yourself an adorable little princess. What more could you possibly need? Cheer up!
Thanks. I'm really glad you decided to come with me.
Oh, did you think for a second I wouldn't? I'm your princess, dearest Mell. And princesses belong with their princess.
I suppose so. Until that day, I had never known how good it felt to have someone who wanted me in their life, who saw me for me. I realized for the first time how blessed I had always been. I was hardly prince material. I wasn't strong or handsome or regal enough for that. But Nelly calling me her prince gave me the illusion of being worth something. It made me feel like I could keep on being that richly blessed young man, even this far away from home. Well, I had been given some money. My supply was far from infinite. I knew I would eventually have to find some kind of work, some way to support myself and Nelly. But to be quite honest, I couldn't gather the motivation to do much of anything. My whole life had changed so abruptly, so dramatically, that my mind just wasn't able to keep up. It had knocked me on my backside, and I didn't have the strength to get back up. Oh no, not work, yeah. The horror. I couldn't tell Nelly that, of course, so this was what I said instead. I'm staying home because I want to be with you as much as possible. And she happily took me at my word. Our new life together was quiet and unremarkable. Even so, it was still a constant stream of new experiences for the two of us, having been pampered our entire lives.
Welcome home, dearest Mell. What did you buy today?
I got a chicken. Wow! I've never seen one so up close before. Are we going to keep it as a pet? I was planning on using it for supper. What? You're going to cook it? That's the idea. You like chicken though, don't you? Steamed especially, if I remember right. Yes, but... Oh god. That is when Mel realized the nightmare he was living in. Yeah. But it's all covered in feathers and flapping about. How are we supposed to cook it? If I remember, the guy said you have to pluck its feathers, then cut off its head and drain all the blood. Please don't pluck the feathers when it's alive. Ew! No way! Absolutely not! Not in a million years! You do it, Mel. What? I've never done this before. Well, I'm not, so you do it. Alright. I'll bring it to the... Not inside! Do it outside! Okay. Yeah, before cooking or plucking feathers, murder happens. I could never. I'm so happy that I live in modern times. And even now, like, as a modern person, I struggle with meat sometimes because I find it quite disgusting. I do eat it, but mostly if other people cook it, I don't want to handle it at all. I don't want to know what it is I'm eating. And having to like handle it raw makes that much more difficult. So yeah, I'm not a fan. I guess that will be my fate too if you don't boil me first. Well, yeah, you are an egg. Blissful ignorance? Yeah, exactly. I never had to slaughter a chicken before. The chefs back home always took care of it. God, I hope I don't screw this up. Well, I'm not going to accomplish anything if I just sit here worrying. Just gotta give it my best shot. Oh, please. Please don't put up a fight. I can't watch. On a count of 3, okay? The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Wait! Come back! It's gone. Good job, Mel. Good job. I don't know if I could do it, but I know it wouldn't be easy. Yeah, I could never. I could absolutely never. Maybe if I was like starving and absolutely had to. I think if that ever happened, instincts would kick in real fast. But as of right now, no, absolutely not. At first I was just fumbling about in the dark, constantly messing up everything I tried. But in time, I started getting more comfortable with things, and I stopped pining for my old life. For the longest time, I couldn't shake the memory of the fact that I had once been a noble. I was constantly wondering how I had ended up there, why this was happening to me. Nellie had seemed to have adjusted fairly quickly, but I wasn't faring so well. I was surprised, honestly. I figured if anyone was going to have an issue with our new lifestyle, it was going to be her, not me. Back home, Nellie had tended to be, well, a bit of a princess. She was frequently harsh with the Abigails, scolding them for the smallest of things. There were times I thought she might be biting her tongue for my sake, but every time it crossed my mind, she would say, "I got you, dearest Mel. Everything's just fine." And it was those words that kept me going. "Oh, dearest Mel, I just had the most wonderful idea. Would you like to hear it?" "Sure, what's your idea?"
We should get married. Oh God, Nelly, no. What? You can't be serious. As serious gets. I mean, we're basically married already in everything but name. We can't do that. We're siblings. Nobody here needs to know that. They can guess from our hair and eye color though. I don't think we look that much alike. Anyway, whatever gave you that idea? If we get married, then we can be together forever. We can do that just as well as brother and sister. It's not the same though. No one ever says two siblings lived happily ever after. I want to be with you for the rest of my life, dearest Mell. And the best way to do that is to get married. But Nelly, what are you so hesitant for? Is there someone you pine for? No, but... There's no problem. We're blood-related siblings. Does she realize that getting married means eventually having children and everything that leads up to that? I don't think she does, Mel. I think probably she is just in her princess fantasies and like want her prince. I don't think she realized what it actually means. She's still just living in her fantasies, and she cares for Mel so much. She wants to be with her brother. I mean, I don't know, maybe it is romantic feelings, but I still think that she might be confusing it for romantic feelings, whereas she doesn't have anyone else. And that's why she gets these kind of thoughts in her head, but who knows? Maybe it's not the case, but that's the feeling I'm getting from this, at least. And yeah, marriage doesn't require children. But then again, I guess maybe back in that time it did more than it does today, at least. But yeah. That goes against the teachings of the Lord. No, she's still just a kid chasing after a fairy tale ending. She doesn't understand the reality of what she's saying. Sometimes I'm not sure what to do with you, Nelly. So you marry me? But right now I know you need God's word. Starting tonight, you're getting your own private sermon every night, understand? If you don't know the alternative anyways, I guess it's real. Yeah, maybe. It's hard, like, I can see it being, like, her real feelings, but it's hard to know, really. Either way, I think it's still pretty harmless, no matter what she's actually feeling. It's more in door one where she can't really accept the no that is the problem. My instruction was as much for my own sake as it was for Nelly's. I'm not going to lie. The thought did cross my mind that her proposition might not be so bad. For one, I couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life with anyone else, and it had been her smile that kept me going when things got difficult. But I knew that it was a sin, and I didn't think I would be able to live with myself if I crossed that line. See, this is more problematic, I feel like, because Mel definitely knows what he is feeling, so yeah. So, night after night I taught her, reminded her that we were brother and sister, and that we didn't have to be anything more for her to be the most important person in the world for me. And after about our third month away from home, that life began crumbling. Nelly woke up one day with a high fever that refused to break. At first, I thought it was just a cold and that she'd be over it soon enough. But as much as I tried to convince myself, oh, she'll be better tomorrow, she just kept getting worse, until eventually she couldn't even get out of bed. You will not make the chat curse today. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Let's keep it somewhat wholesome today, shall we? As wholesome as the house in Fata Morgana can be, I mean. She had visibly lost weight, and I had never heard her voice so weak and lethargic before. Yeah, exactly, the story is cursed enough. Is there anything you'd like me to get you, Nelly? All I want is you to be here with me, dearest Mell. You really should eat something. I'll make something you like. How about a nice expensive chicken? The last one got away, but I won't let that happen this time. I'm not really in the mood for anything too heavy. Oh, okay. Don't you worry, Mell. I'll be better before you know it. Yeah, you will. You'll be just fine. Everything's going to be back to normal soon. Watching Nelly grow weaker every day scared the hell out of me. I desperately did not want to lose her. If I lost her, then who would be left that wanted me? Who would tell me I was worth something? Who would say nice things about me? Who would be there with me every day? Just when I started to feel optimistic about this new life, started to feel comfortable in it, it was looking like it might fall apart again. I searched everywhere for some medicine that could cure her. Healthy foods, fruits and vegetables with supposed medicinal properties. Anything I could get my hands on. I prayed. And Nelly, you were overjoyed. You were thrilled I would go to such lengths for you. But the reality is, I was really doing it for myself. But as much as I searched, I couldn't find anything that worked, and I started to panic. I would go to bed at night, afraid I'd wake up the next morning, and Nelly wouldn't. Let me introduce you to an app called Tinder. Yeah. They didn't really have that back then, but yeah, feels like you would need it. Oh god, medieval Tinder, a person running around with pictures of women/men. Oh my goodness. I was already grasping at straws, and I was ready to try anything that had even the slightest chance of curing her. And then one day, I heard whispers. Whispers of a witch who lived by the lake. They said she was a recluse, that she hardly ever left her house, and that she hadn't been down to the city in years. They told me she might have some medicinal herbs that could help, so I rushed down to the lake to see her. Sitting by the shore was a small cottage, even less luxurious than where Nelly and I were living at the time. Seeing the thin trails of smoke rising from the chimney, I was convinced the rumors were true. A witch lived in that house. I wasn't sure what to expect. Being a recluse, I figured she wasn't going to be very sociable, at least. To tell you the truth, I was kind of scared to knock on her door. But I had exhausted all my other options, so I clenched my teeth and gave the door 2 firm raps. Who's there? The sound of her voice caught me off guard, and all I could do was stare at the door with a knot in my throat. Based on the information I had, I'd assumed I was going to find a wrinkly old woman, but that was the voice of a young girl. And even though she'd only said 2 words, there was something indescribably enchanting about that voice. I could listen to her talk for hours on end, in some kind of strange hypnotic trance. It was almost like magic, for lack of a better word. Who wants to try dating this apathic man with sister complex? Note your address down here. Oh my god. Wow. Dating DLC when? I stood there, dumbfounded, like my soul had been sucked from my body. Who's there? She repeated the question, which brought me back to reality, though I still had to fight to maintain my wits enough to respond coherently. My sister has fallen very ill, and she desperately needs medicine. Epilogue. No. You guys, you are amazing. I was told that the person who lives here is a skilled herbalist. Could I please get something to treat her? What are her symptoms? She got an extremely high fever that won't come down. She has no appetite, she's only drinking water, and she can't get out of bed. We're going to want to lower her fever first. After that, get her on a nutritious diet. I'm going to give you 2 medications. Give it the first while her fever is high, and the second after it's come down. Thank you very much. Her voice wasn't bright and energetic like Nellie's. It was more restrained, somber and quiet, yet simultaneously clear and sharp. The sound tickled my curiosity. I wanted to know what she looked like. I wanted to know what kind of girl stood on the other side of that door. With a voice that pretty, she must be equally lovely, I thought. And I had to see it for myself. And my wish didn't fall on deaf ears. When she opened the door to hand me the herbal medicine and take my money, her head peeked out between the crack ever so slightly. I said I would tell you everything, exactly as it happened, so I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It was unsettling. It was nothing like I had imagined from her voice. Her skin had, I guess, fallen off or something, because I could see the raw red flesh beneath. To say it was hard to look at would be an understatement. Most of her face was covered by a black hood, so all I could see was her mouth and chin, but even that much was harrowing. But the last thing I wanted to do was look away. For all I knew, that was why she had become a recluse, and I couldn't let myself hurt her, so I suppressed my own disgust and put on my best smile. People often tell me I have a very pleasant, amiable smile, so I figured I could use that to prevent her from picking up on what was actually going through my mind. How does one go from hearing one sentence? Sorry, I can't read again, as always. How does one from hearing one sentence go, I want to hear this voice forever? Well, if it is a pleasant enough voice, I guess. But yeah, I do agree it's a bit much. And when she saw my face, a look of surprise seemed to cross hers. The witch's herbs did indeed seem to help some. Going to visit her was better than talking to any of the local doctors. Nonetheless, Nellie hadn't been cured, she was only feeling a little bit better. So I kept paying the witch visits, kept purchasing more herbs from her. And every time I went to that cottage and heard a sweet voice, I imagined how much sweeter it would sound without a door obstructing it. Even knowing what she looked like didn't stop the curiosity from growing within me. From what I gathered talking to her, there wasn't much of an age difference between us either. She was 16 and I was 17. And I'm sure you know how it is. When you meet someone around your age, you feel a sort of sense of kinship. This girl I had originally believed to be some kind of otherworldly witch was starting to feel like a regular person like me. Through our conversations, I managed to learn her name, as well as the fact that she had come here from a faraway country. We were both a long way from home. Thinking she might open up even more to someone who'd been through a similar experience, I decided to try inviting her to go on a walk with me. It's not healthy to stay holed up inside all the time. You got this beautiful lake right here. What do you say we take a little walk around the shoreline? To my surprise, she accepted. Great weather, isn't it? I love the way the sun reflects off the surface of the lake. It's gorgeous. Are you okay? I'm in disbelief, to tell you the truth. Huh? What for? You've seen my face. You know how hideous I am. And still you invited me on a walk.
You're a very peculiar person. Is it really that strange? I mean, we're almost the same age, so I figure we might make pretty good friends. You want to make friends? With me? Well, sure. We've been through a lot of the same things, so we can understand each other better than most. Understand each other? Yeah, we're both young, but we've been through some rough times. I'm going to be blunt with you. You have not been through anything like I have. What? No? If you had experienced the things I have, you wouldn't be smiling right now. I haven't known you long, but I don't need to have in order to know how unequivocal. Oh my god, English words! Stop this! Unequivocally. We're going with that. Dissimilar we are. That we were cut from a very different cloth. Well, yeah, we're people. We're not made of cloth, so... That's not what that means, you know. Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so harsh. In fact, I would say you're much better off not being in my position. It sounds like you've been through a lot. If you don't mind me asking, what happened to you? I'd be happy to lend an ear. It might make you feel better to get it off your chest. And that is what's so different about us. Huh? I will not tell you about myself, no. That said, I do appreciate the concern. Thank you. Sure, you're welcome. She's not very open with people, huh? Though I guess that's only to be expected. She hasn't spent much time around other people, looking the way she does. I wonder if there's anything I can do for her. At least get her to show a little bit of emotion. Say, if it's not too much to ask, you think we can maybe do this again sometime? Don't expect me to lower my prices. I'm not trying to squeeze a better deal out of you. I just want to get to know you better. Hi Quill, welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. Nothing more to it. No ulterior motives, promise. And don't worry, you're not very late. Mell is telling his story. How I can summarize it real quick. His father died, so he was supposed to be the next head, but then the uncle took that place because no one thought he was up for the task, and then he was sort of exiled, I guess, he and Nellie, and they are now living alone together in a cottage, and Nellie is sick, so Mell has searched out Morgana in order to cure her, and that's the gist of it. And now they are walking by the lakeside and talking. That's the short of it, but I guess you are going to watch the VOD later, but yeah. Did you forget I've already said I won't be telling you about myself? Alright, then it doesn't have to be about you. We can talk about anything, whatever you want. Do you have a favorite food? Any hobbies? Nothing in particular. Well, that was a fruitful conversation. Okay. Crap. I have no interest or taste worth mentioning, so if you want to talk, I suppose that leaves you to be the subject. Me? Tell me about yourself. My life's not all that exciting. Anything I had to tell you would probably just bore you. I'm not looking for excitement. Oh, okay. Well, alright then. I guess I can tell you about myself. And so I did. I told her about my family situation, and I told her about Nellie, and that was pretty much all I had to talk about. For the most part, she hardly even reacted to anything I said, so it was difficult to tell if she was listening or not. But she would urge me to continue whenever I go quiet for more than a few moments, so I suppose she was listening. Every time I came to purchase more medicine, we would go on a walk around the lake together. A single loop around the shoreline didn't give us much time to talk, but my attempts to reduce our walking pace or stop to extend our time together were flatly ignored. And she refused to go around more than once, claiming it would disturb her daily rhythm. That said, she never refused an invitation either, so I don't think she particularly disliked me. Yet, anyway. Yeah, the most important thing I can say to Morgana is I love my sister. Yes. Also, I can mention that too. He was contemplating marrying her after Nelly asked if they should. So there's that. Yeah, don't worry, Mel. You will fix that. Exactly. Oh, a robin. What does a robin have to do with your sister? Nothing, I just saw one over there. If you listen, you can hear it singing. They migrate somewhere warmer when it gets cold. They just fly off to someplace more comfortable. If I had wings like a bird, maybe I could be free too. There is not a single creature living in this world that is free. Ugh. Birds regularly get shot down by hunters or preyed on by larger birds. The idea that they are free is nothing more than man's short-sighted delusion. Sorry, I guess. No, I should be apologizing. I wasn't trying to attack you. I simply lack the ability to properly empathize with others. I do not understand people. So please, if I say anything that upsets you or make you uncomfortable, don't assume that was my intention. Yeah, she's very optimistic, but we do have to remember what she's been through. She is pretty broken at this point. Even though she is holding it together quite well, she's still pretty broken on the inside, I would say. She's been through a lot. She would probably need some therapy, which is not really available to her, so yeah. Yeah, exactly. Kidnapped more or less and constantly stabbed. So yeah, and then when she finally was starting to feel like a human again, her new friends and family were murdered right in front of her, so yeah. She has a reason to be the way she is. Yeah, absolutely, we can tease her either way. That's true. It's fiction, so it's fine. Doesn't hurt anyone. And it makes it easier to bear for us as well, to make fun of stuff. Sure. Maybe you're hiding it, or maybe you just don't know it yet, but I think you got more empathy than you're letting on. Surely you can say nothing affects you at all. You are human. So you don't have to be so closed off. I might not be able to do much for you, but I do want to get to know you better, and want to understand you. So if you ever feel like talking about yourself, just know that you got an eager pair of ears here. And then we become victims of Morgana's curse? Probably. Okay? If there were ever someone who could understand me, who could empathize with me, they would not be human. What do you mean? That you would need to be far removed from any idea of humanity to have a chance at understanding me. Regardless, I do appreciate your kind words. Sure. So, out of curiosity, do you have anyone really important to you in your life? Not at the moment. Does that mean you used to?
I'd love to hear about them, if you don't mind. They're all long dead. 4 years ago, something unpleasant occurred, and as a result of that, I was forced to part ways with the people who taught me that humans have the capability for kindness. Oh, I'm sorry. Well then, if your sister's condition worsens again, come see me. Farewell. Hey, maybe we could walk a little slower next time, so we have more time to talk. I want to get to know you better. I'll consider it. Does it really require that much thought? So long. Bye. See you soon. Kidnapped is the polite version, more like enslaved, and my level of tease is no worse than hers, and I give her head pats too. Well, precursor version, yeah. Seeing her have both arms is slightly disturbing you. Aww. Yeah, you have gotten to know the witch Morgana, but this is girl Morgana. She is still very human. Things continued on like that for a while. Nelly bounced back and forth between getting better and getting worse. Emotionally, I followed not far behind, getting very little in the way of peace of mind. Having to spend so much time worrying over and looking after Nelly was starting to wear me out, even though I knew good and well she had it much worse than me. I wanted to be done with it all. I wanted to be free. I wanted her to get better as soon as possible, so I could stop agonizing over her. So at some point, I started wishing for a miracle. I didn't care if it came from God, an angel, or something less holy. I just wanted someone to cure Nelly and take the weight off my shoulders. Sweet bean Morgana, the head patable Morgana, yeah. And during one of our walks, I let that slip. I'll take anything at this point to make her better. I'd even take a miracle if I can get one. I assumed she would, as she had a tendency to, say that people who believed in miracles were delusional. She was, in my mind, very much a realist, which is why her response surprised me so much. Do you sincerely wish for a miracle? What? Do you truly want a miracle, no matter what form it may take? Well, yeah. I tried everything else. God is all I can ask for help anymore. I know what you're going to say. There's no such thing as miracles. If there were, Nelly would already be better. I prayed every single night for her recovery. It's all just a delusion, I know. Miracles do exist. What? If you have faith, and you sincerely wish for her to be healed, you will be granted your miracle. What are you talking about, Morgana? You said many times that you wish to know more about me. Yeah, I have. Well, I'll grant you that wish. As you listen to my story, you will come to understand why I said you will never be able to empathize with me. And as you do, hope will sprout up within you. Here in my lakeside cottage, I am known as a witch, but I did not used to be called such. No. I am the daughter of God. Most people would dismiss such a claim as madness, and I almost did exactly that. But there was something strangely enchanting about her voice, and I found myself slowly drawn into her tale, listening intently to her every word. The more I heard, the harder it was to believe she was lying. And before long, I was convinced she was the daughter of God, a saint whose blood had miraculous powers. Her first cry ended a lengthy drought in the village where she was born, and her blood cured the sick. She rolled up one sleeve to show me her arm. Practically every inch of her skin from her shoulder to the tips of her fingers was scarred from where she had been cut. According to her, the scarring had once been far worse, but had improved with the application of ointment. Every single one of those scars, she said, marked a person who had sought her blood. And I believed every word. There was something about her that set her apart from the rest of us normal people, like she was some higher being. They were not self-inflicted wounds, not the marks of someone who had tried to take her own life, but symbols of the great sacrifices she had made. She offered to give Nellie her blood, and without a moment's hesitation, I accepted. Mel? Hey Nellie, I'm back. And I brought someone with me. A saint. A saint? Yep, she's here because medicine hasn't been working for you. She can perform miracles, so she's going to cure you. Miracles? That's right. Her blood has miraculous healing powers. Blood? Fear not, my beloved sister. Hear my words and do as I say. You must have faith for the miracle to be performed correctly. I give you my blessing that it may bestow unto you my salvation. I give you my love, and I give you relief. Hear my words. I hear them. Be happy, Nelly, you can become a vampire, oh god. This body was created not in a mortal womb. This flesh is not the flesh of man. This blood is not the blood of man. The water that flows through these holy veins flows from the river of creation. Have mercy on them, O Father. May the infirm find comfort in your warmth. May the destitute find reprieve in your generosity. May my flesh bring nourishment and health unto this girl. Bestow upon her your blessing, O Father. That's exactly what this world needs, vampirism, yeah. Vampinelli. Vampimel, oh god. That would be quite a different story. Morgana held a pale hand above Nellie's mouth and, without hesitation, sliced her own wrist. Blood slowly trickled down her middle finger from the cut, dripping into the gap between Nellie's bluish lips. I stood there entranced by the scene. It was like I was witnessing some kind of ritual. I wasn't sure, however, whether to describe it as sacred or profane. Watching the fresh blood trickle from the cut on her wrist made me break out into a sweat, feeling like I was violating a taboo. My knees rattled, and I could barely stay on my feet. Needles prickled my hands. Thoughts slipped through my fingers before they could fully form. Had I crossed a line that wasn't meant to be crossed? Had I stepped into territory man was never supposed to enter? In time, I stopped processing Morgana's prayers as words. It became nothing but a rhythmical sequence of sounds bouncing around in my head. My line of sight grew gradually narrower. She wants to be with her brother forever, so yeah. Oh god. Commercial rights itself from witch to vamp in one shot. Yeah. What? Are you alright? The ceremony is complete. How's Nellie? She's asleep right now, but she should awaken soon. Oh, good. My blood has the power to cause miracles, but you must remember that the miracle is predicated on your faith. So are you saying we need to worship you? No, I am merely God's progeny. Your praises and prayers should be directed at my Father, the Lord God. I should get going then. Hey,
Thank you. Very much. When Morgana had said I would never be able to understand or empathize with her, she had not been lying. Having only heard her tale of it, I'd still believed there was room for me to close the gap between us. That we still had enough in common. But seeing it with my own eyes, feeling it with my entire being, I no longer had any illusions of us being on the same plane. As I gave her my thanks, my voice was audibly trembling. Imagine if this doubting from Mell was why it didn't help Nelly recover. Yeah, that would have been something. I mean, we know better that it was probably just placebo that made it work in the first place, but if it was actually magic, then yeah, Mell is a doubter. Mell, come on, get up, dearest Mell. Oh, Mell! Nelly? Finally, you're awake, sleepyhead. What's with the look? Am I making a funny face? Are you good to be up and about? Yep, I woke up this morning feeling wonderful. Feel my forehead, Mell. See? No fever. It's gone. She actually performed a miracle. I only remember bits and pieces, but I remember a really pretty saint lady showing up and giving me her blood. That's how she remembers it? Her memory is pretty hazy, huh? And then I got this warm and fuzzy feeling inside me. Then I had this really strange dream. What kind of dream? There were a whole bunch of lights floating all around me, and they were changing into all sorts of different colors. It was the most wonderful dream. That doesn't help me understand at all, Nelly. It was a good dream, and that's what matters. It must have been the Saint Lady's powers at work. Must be, yeah. I'm so relieved you're feeling better, Nelly. Sorry for all the trouble I caused you. But now, everything can go back to normal. Yep. All back to normal. Mell just calling Morgana ugly in his head. Yeah. Mell is a bit superficial, I think. She wants to thank me. Yeah. Nell is insisting I let her meet you so she can show her gratitude. So if it's alright, would you mind coming to supper sometime? That would probably not be wise. Huh? Why not? It would hardly be pleasant having to eat in the presence of a face as grotesque as mine. And I doubt your sister would react well to the sight of it. I don't think it will cause any problems. Nelly isn't the kind of girl to judge someone by the looks. I don't think. Perhaps not, but to her, I'm a saint, not a normal person. In her mind, she thinks I'm beautiful, doesn't she? We must maintain that illusion. It is essential to the miracle that her faith remains unwavering, and on some level, that faith depends on her idealized image of me. You think so? Though our time together was brief, I could see it in her. She is a girl with great love of beauty. Plot twist, Morgana is actually ugly speckles in disguise. Or vice versa. Oh my goodness. And perhaps the same could be said of you. I don't judge people by how they look. It's what inside that matters. Yeah, of course it is, Mell. I still remember I was doing some thinking today because I was very eager to keep reading the story, and I just started thinking about it a bit and the parallels between this and the first door. And I do, yeah, I know, thinking dangerous things, but like, remember how I'm losing my train of thought here. Sorry. But like, Nelly cuts the white hair girl's hair because she goes delulu and all that. But like, she is using violence to cut her hair.
And when Mell sees the white-haired girl, he doesn't recognize her because she isn't beautiful anymore in his eyes, and therefore he like pushes her away and such, and doesn't treat her very nicely. So I do think that he is very much a person who is very superficial like that. But also, we know that Morgana will lose her arm. Isn't that sort of some good parallel there? Like the white-haired girl being cut to lose her hair very violently, and Morgana loses her arm very violently. Like obviously Morgana's version is a lot worse, but I still do see some parallels there. It's what inside that matters, especially shared blood, yeah. I'll take you at your word. Thanks. So, are you sure you don't want to come? I really shouldn't. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, okay. Why in the world am I feeling relieved? Nearly recovering was a huge weight on my shoulders. Now everything could go back to the way it was, quiet and unremarkable. I could finally go out and get a real job, forget about my old life, live like a regular old commoner. That was what I was going to do, for the both of us. The problem was, Nelly hadn't actually recovered completely. She was in nearly perfect health the first few days after drinking Morgana's blood. But soon her fever came back, she stopped being able to get out of bed, and to top it all off, she started having lengthy coughing fits. During some of them, she coughed up little bits of bloody phlegm. Phlegm? Is that how I say phlegm? I nearly had a panic attack. So I rushed down to Morgana's cottage and told her what was happening, to which she responded with a quizzical tilt of her head. Nellie's health had meant everything to me. It certainly wasn't the curiosity her head tilt seemed to make it out to be. But it didn't seem to bother her at all. Pauline and the white-haired girl in door 2 get murdered by weapons, and in door 3 white-haired girl goes mad from isolation, and I imagine likely wasted away when she left. Yeah, very true. I do see a lot of parallels, and that's also why I think when you think about it, because Michelle believes very much that Morgana and the white-haired girl are the same, and you can't really see the parallels. I mean, I obviously don't want to spoil if he's right or not, but you can definitely see the parallels between Morgana and the white-haired girl, like what's happening to them and all of that, so yeah. The miracle took place, but it didn't persist. That doesn't make much sense. But it's true, she can't get out of bed. And it's not a problem with her faith. I've been teaching her the word of God every night. And she absolutely believes in you, in her saint. Lower your voice. I will perform another miracle for her. You'll do it again. I will not forsake those who are in need. And it'll stick this time, right? I cannot promise anything. But why? Your miracles aren't supposed to be temporary, are they? Whether they are or not is decided by you and your sister. You're my only hope, though. Please do not worry. If a second blessing is not enough to cure her of her ailment, then I will visit and give her my blood as many times as is necessary. I will gladly give her every last drop of my blood in my body. I assure you, my father does not want to see two young souls like yourself torn apart. And neither do I. We should get going. Alright. Did Morgana become the white-haired girl because she had a crush on Michelle? Oh my goodness. For the second time, Morgana had Nelly drink of her blood. And for the second time, she was healthy again the next morning. And for the second time, she fell ill again shortly thereafter. Her fever returned. I went to get Morgana, and she gave Nelly her blood. The cycle repeated again and again, and every time I had to watch her go through that ceremony. It was exhausting, and I wasn't sure I could handle it much longer. I started thinking maybe there wasn't anything sacred about any of this, that it was as blasphemous as it looked from the outside. I was making a girl cut her own wrist and feed my sister her blood. Nothing about that sounded right. But I had nowhere else to go, no one else to ask for help. When I was with Morgana, listening to her words of reassurance, she without fail wiped away all the doubt I had. It wasn't until after she left that the wave of regret hit me. I wasn't sure what was right and wrong anymore. I wasn't sure what to do anymore. Every time I went to see Morgana, it got more and more difficult to look her in the eye. I stopped asking her on walks as often, and I stopped trying to have chats with her, not so much out of a sense of guilt, but because I was getting to be afraid of her. Sounds like a lack of faith from Mell's part. Yeah, very much. One of those draining days, someone knocked on the door. I hadn't asked Morgana to come down that day, so I wasn't sure who it could be. Nelly was asleep in her bed, so I quietly rose from my seat and made my way to the door, trying not to wake her. Who is it? Hello? Who's there? I had an inkling of a suspicion, but having been raised in such a sheltered environment, I didn't understand exactly how dangerous it was to thoughtlessly open the door to anyone who came knocking. I pulled the door inward a couple of inches and tried to take a peek through the crack. When out of nowhere, someone grabbed my shoulder and shoved me, helpless to resist, into the house. A man stood there above me. Well, hello there, Yukimasa. Nice to see you. What do you think you're doing? What do you want from me? I don't have anything valuable. I'm just a regular old peasant. I'm not here to rob you. The true vampire arrives. Well, he certainly could be one who looks similar, I think. He's pretty enough. What? You're in contact with a witch, are you not? Huh? The girl who lives by the lake calls herself a witch. Witch? I don't know any witch. The only one who lives there is a saint. A saint? I was told she was a witch. But regardless, there's a girl who lives there with miracle blood, no? Ah. Looks like I got the right person. What do you want from me? Damn it, even because making us have to lock our doors. Do door! Oh my god! You can't say that! I want you to help me. Huh? I need you to lure the witch out into the open. And why do you need that? Because I need her blood. I need to get my hands on the witch's miracle blood. Then go ask her for it yourself. Why should I have to help you? She won't open the door for me. But you, I've seen you talking to her. You seem to be quite friendly with the witch. Taking little walks around the lake. How? I need your help. And what are you going to do once you have her outside? I have orders from the Lord to take her captive. What? The Lord? Why would he? That is none of your concern. You expect me to buy that? All I need from you is to get the witch out of that house. Why would I? She doesn't trust me. I could always force my way in, but there's a chance something might go wrong, and I can't risk that. If she hears your voice, she'll open the door, yes? The witch trusts you, unlike me. With your help, there's no risk of anything going wrong. No.
You barge in here and tell me you want to capture her, and you think I'm just going to agree to help? Like hell I will! Oh, don't worry. You'll get your share. You need the witch's blood too, right? I don't care about getting a share. You're asking me to deceive her. I don't care what you think she is. She hasn't done anything wrong. So no, I won't help you capture her. You leave me no choice then. He approached the bed where Nellie slept, drawing his sword and pressing the tip against her throat. It happened so quickly, and without any warning my mind couldn't keep up. I stood there, mouth half open like an idiot. If I were courageous, if I were gallant and brave, then maybe I would have grabbed him, pulled him away from Nellie. But my legs seemed to be severed from my mind. They were frozen to the floor like two useless rocks. You have two options. Either you say no and protect the witch. Get away. Or you help me capture her. Get away from her. Right now. And if you choose the witch, I kill the girl. Get away! Make your decision. Get away from her! You have until the count of 10. If you don't choose, I kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7. 6, 5. Okay, I'll do it. I'll help you. So get your sword out of her face. Don't kill her. I thought you'd hold out until the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. Get moving. You pitiful little boy. I felt like jumping into a lake. I couldn't make sense of how I had ended up in such a position. Just a few months earlier, I had been living back in my family's estate, hardly a worry in the world. Nellie had been healthy and happy. It hadn't been exciting, no, but I had figured that was how things would always be. That one day I would fall for some noble girl, Nellie would get jealous, and I would have to spend several days or even weeks pacifying her. Everyone would be happy, a life free of troubles. Because that was normal, and I was normal. So what was I doing living in some tiny cottage so far from home? Feeding my sick sister miracle blood? What was I doing walking beside this barbarian? What was I doing at all? I mean, if Mell let Yukimasa do it, he'd be free. Yeah, but that would have been awful too. It wouldn't have been a better solution than what he is doing now, I think. Also, Nellie is innocent. She hasn't done anything. I was conflicted. Part of me hoped we would never arrive at the lake, and part of me wanted to get there as quickly as possible so I could be done with all this. But time plodded on no quicker or slower than normal. Yeah, Mell is very much a coward. True. And we arrived at Morgana's door in short order, irrespective of my own selfish hopes. The thought of what was going to happen next filled me with a crushing sense of guilt. I may have been afraid of Morgana, but I had no grudge against her. I was actually quite grateful to her. She was still healing Nellie, even if the ceremony to do so inspired fear in me. She didn't hesitate to cut her own wrist open for Nellie, and for me. She didn't grimace or even frown, though I knew it had hurt. I knew damn well she wasn't a bad person, that she hadn't done anything to warrant being taken into custody. She might very well have been a genuine saint, but there I was, selling her out because a man with a sword threatened me. Oh, Father who art in heaven, please forgive me for what I'm about to do. Please, please forgive me. Quit sniveling. You want her to get suspicious? But how? I can't. Please, oh God. Ah! Stop crying. Ah! Or would you rather I kill you here? Just close your eyes. It'll be over before you know it. Do it. Call on the witch. Who's there? It's me. I'm not here about Nelly today. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. I want to talk things over. I thought I heard a faint gasp through the door, and then she responded. I want to talk to you too. Why? Why did she have to want to talk now? She had always been so curt, so rational, so quick to cut down my fantasies, never want to get emotional or sentimental. She had always given off the impression of being something greater than we mere humans. Always been so aloof, never giving any indication she thought anything of me at all. So why? Why did she sound like a normal girl now? Why was her voice trembling slightly when she said she wanted to talk? Why now of all times? Get back! No! Stay away from me! No! Ah! Help! Don't kill me! Ah! Take it. What? That's your share. Should last you long enough. Why? Why did you take my arm? What do you mean by share? What? Why? It all happened in less than a minute. I told her I wanted to talk. She opened the door. Then I heard a sound like the wind whipping past my ear, and the next thing I knew, her cottage was covered in blood. Never once did I expect anything to happen how it did. When he'd said he wanted to capture her, I took it to mean exactly that. I hadn't thought he would turn brutal, that he would do something so horrific. After the man cut her arm off, Morgana tumbled to the floor, floundering about as he watched, blood trickling down the curved blade in his hand. Her screams were indistinguishable from those of a normal person. My God, the sounds I have to make in this game sometimes. All for the immersion, right? Arm. Her arm. Kneeling in the grass at the lake shore, I vomited and I vomited and I vomited. You appreciate it? That's good. The things I had seen in the cabin were far too much for me to handle. I tossed the arm, Morgana's arm, the man had given me, into the lake. What else was I supposed to do with it? It was an arm, a human arm. You would have to be insane to go around carrying someone's severed arm. I tried to convince myself it was all a dream, some terrible nightmare, but I could still feel the warmth of the skin fresh on my hands, the warmth of the blood on my fingers,
dragging me back to reality. Ah! 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 My mind couldn't keep up with the flood of thoughts and emotions and images. I wanted to close my eyes, but I was too afraid I would find the bloodbath in the cottage on the back of my eyelids, which left me with nothing to do but wail. I was horrified at what I had done. I knew that I was the one who had set it all in motion. If I had kept quiet, Morgana wouldn't have had her arm cut off, but I didn't want to admit it was my fault. I didn't want to accept that I had caused it. I did nothing wrong. It's not my fault. He threatened me. So it's not my fault. I had no choice. I didn't do anything. I frantically scrubbed my blood-soaked clothes in the lake. As I watched the red cloud spread, I knew I was defiling something pure and beautiful, but my awareness of that fact was slowly dissipating like the blood through the clear water. By the time I had gotten all the blood off my clothes, the sun was beginning to set. I came back to my senses at the sound of a bird chirping, and quickly recalled that I had left Nellie alone at the house. My legs were shaking, and I could barely keep myself upright, but remembering her gave me enough motivation to drag myself back home. If she hadn't been there waiting for me, I seriously might have thrown myself into the lake instead. Oh god damn, no! No! Too soon! Too soon! I mean, I appreciate you trying to break the tension here, but no! Too soon! Mel? What's the matter, dearest Mel? Where have you been? Mel? I'm so sorry. What? I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Will you ever be able to forgive me? Dearest Mel. I never meant for this to happen. I'm so sorry. Please, I'm begging you to forgive me. I'm begging you. Were you not able to get my medicine? Is that what you're crying about? It's not that big a deal, Mel. I'm just fine. Honest. I'm alright. Thanks. I wanted to forget everything. I wanted to forget about my involvement, about the horrible things I caused to happen. But whenever I lay down to go to sleep, I heard her screams, Morgana's animalistic howls. I saw her cottage, blood splattered everywhere. I felt her severed arms still warm in my hands. From that day on, what sleep I got was hardly restful. Nellie probably didn't notice anything through her feverish haze, but I'm willing to bet I looked like hell. Praying time would cause the memory to fade. I started looking for doctors again. Instead of clinging to a miracle, I would try to have Nellie's sickness cured the way normal people did. At some point though, all that money I'd been given started running low. If I'd thought about it for 2 seconds, I would have seen it coming. I hadn't exactly been frugal in my attempts to find a cure for Nellie, nor had I been especially concerned about money before she fell ill. I was so used to living like an aristocrat, and I hadn't succeeded in breaking those old habits. Which left me with only one thing I could do for Nellie, be with her day in and day out. Every day that passed, I lost a little more hope. If I couldn't do anything, and Nellie died, I would be utterly alone. And that was what scared me more than anything. The nightmares were eating away at me, leaving me with nowhere to run. And if I didn't have someone there with me, I wouldn't have been able to hold myself together. After 3 or so days of me sitting by Nellie's bedside, hardly moving, there was a knock on the door. Who's there? Who is it? Open the door. Unless you want me to kick it down. My suspicion was correct. I couldn't think of anyone else who would come visit, but what I didn't know was why he had come back.
I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Open the door. Leave me alone, please. I want nothing to do with anything you're doing. Open the door. No, I'm not letting you in for any reason. Okay then, I'll break it down. Don't. My sister's inside sleeping. I don't need you waking her up. Then open it. Ugh. What do you need? I did everything you asked me to already. What happened to the witch's arm? I threw it. I threw it away. You really think I was going to keep that? A person's arm! Mel, what's going on? Do we have a visitor? Nelly. I should get them something to drink. Don't worry about it, Nelly. You get some sleep, alright? He truly is a vampire, needs to be invited in. Yeah? And yeah, Mel is really easy to convince. He really is a nice guy. If you don't do what I say, I will make you do it. Yeah, well, that's true. But no one thought that Yukimasa was nice, so... Except maybe Pauline. Can we go outside? I'd really rather not talk in here. Fine by me. So that's your sister. Explains why you look so much alike. And the white-haired girl? Yeah, true, true. That's none of your damn business. You wanted the miracle blood to cure your sick sister, did you not? And you're telling me you threw the arm away? Are you interested in getting more blood? What? We're taking the witch's blood, turning it into a medicine, and selling it through the church. Selling it? You're doing business? In a house of worship? No. I suppose we're technically giving it away. But we're asking for tithes, so really it's the same thing. I'm not from this land, so to me it looks no different than a business. But the people here, they see it as charity. Pauline most likely never saw this side of him until she got to see it very close. Yeah, that's true. She only saw his, like, sweet human side. Or tried to be human side at least. The Lord says if you'll assist us, he'll provide you with the medicine we're making. The Lord? Why would the Lord be? Hell if I know. Because it seems like good money. So, will you help us? You're gonna make me get my hands dirty for you again. I can't. Not again. Oh, right. I forgot to mention one detail. You don't have a choice this time. Huh? You know about the miracle blood, which means we can't let you go unattended. If you say no, I have permission from the Lord to kill you on the spot. Why? So, will you help us? Or will you die here? What was the right thing for me to do then? Should I have fought back and died? Should I try to run? Should I have taken my own life? I'm sure you've heard enough to know by now that I'm a weakling, a pushover. I didn't have the spine to do anything but agree to meet with the Lord. He told me about the mansion, and he gave me one of a set of 3 keys. I wanted so badly to get rid of the key, but with that man's shadow constantly hanging over me, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Not when I could be the next one to end up losing a limb or two.
There was no way I could have disobeyed them. And that's everything that happened 6 months ago. Every day since I arrived here, I brought Morgana breakfast and supper. She doesn't say anything, but I saw it in her eyes the first time I stepped through that door. How could you do that to me? I never looked her in the eye since, because I'm too afraid of what I might see in them. Medieval logic, when the judge says you can't kill someone, would you judge... who would judge you for it, but the person who gave the permission? Well, yeah. Quite true. And that is how I ended up here. So he was threatened. He didn't actually want to cause Morgana harm. That doesn't excuse what he's done, though. See, what did I tell you? I'm not at all the brother you thought I was. Mock me, ridicule me, call me worthless, a coward, a terrible person. Go on, what are you waiting for? But you were threatened, Mel. He said it would hurt me, hurt you. That's the only reason you went along with him. You didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mel. The other man is the bad guy, not you. Also, that's just Mel's viewpoint. Yeah. We also got Morgana's viewpoint of it, and she's the victim here, so yeah. Biggest sin of Mel, cowardice. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I understand how we got into this situation. It's easier to, like, not fully blame him, because, like they are saying, he was threatened, so it's not like he wanted to do it. But he could have done something more. He wasn't even trying to do anything else, and that's the problem here. Not that, like, he ended up in the situation or that he's doing this, but he's not even trying to do anything about it. Not even once. He's just putting the blame on everyone else and saying it's not his fault, he couldn't have done anything. You can always do something. And he's just not even trying. And that's what's so infuriating about all this. You did the best you could. You didn't have a choice. That terrible man forced you to do everything. Nellie. You didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mel. No, I didn't. I didn't do anything wrong. I had no other choice. That's not true. All you're doing is closing your eyes. What? You mustn't coddle yourself. What was I supposed to do then? Don't be mean to my Mel. Did you really do the best you could? Did you even once try to do something about the situation, as hopeless as it may have seemed? Could you not even conceive of any other options? Could you not have come up with something else to say at Morgana's house? Something that might have given her even the slightest clue she was in danger. But... When she opened the door, did you do anything? Did you even so much as attempt to stop him? My legs were shaking so bad. I couldn't move. There's no way I could have stopped him. Then at the very least you shouldn't have fled. You should have stayed and told her the truth. That you weren't there willingly, and maybe she wouldn't have felt so utterly betrayed. But he was there. You think I could have actually stayed there with him? Not a chance. And it's not like Morgana would have... She opened the door because she trusted you. She isn't the easiest person to read, but she was opening up to you. And what did you do with that trust? Stop it. Please, you made your point. It's not all Mel's fault either. If anything, he's a victim. He was just trying to protect me.
Were you listening to anything he said, Nellie? You were not Mel's first priority. He did what he did for his own sake. Well, what did you expect me to do? Pull courage I don't have out of thin air? What's so wrong with self-preservation? There was nothing I could have done to stop him. I'd love to see you try and do any better. Then maybe you understand how scared I was, how little I could have done. It must be nice to be an outsider, to talk about my experiences like you know anything, analyze my decisions, go on about what I should have done. You don't have a damn clue how terrifying it all was. How I felt having to go through it. Oh yeah, you're right, it sure would be the courageous things to do to sacrifice your life for someone else. But you know what? People like that only exist in stories. Except you don't actually understand that. You just want to give me crap for not being perfect. Do you want my pity? Is that all you want? If I tell you I feel bad for you and oh, how hard it must have been, will that satisfy you? Do you not want to know what you can do now? What's even left to do? Nothing I do is going to make her situation any better. It won't make her arm come back. All is not yet lost. Open your eyes. Take a good long look inside yourself. Think about what you can do. Stop sitting on your hands, telling yourself it's too late. There's still time to make a difference. You just have to commit to act. I don't think you're an especially bad or cowardly person. I think you're an ordinary young man. It might sound like I'm telling you to do the impossible. But soon, the time will come when you must make your choice. When you must stand up and take some responsibility for what you've done. No one's childhood lasts forever. The good days are long behind you before you ever realize they passed. When faced with the consequences of your actions, you should not have turned and run, but held yourself accountable. It is, perhaps, a disproportionately large burden for you to bear, but it's fast approaching, and you need to make a decision. Find your courage. Set Morgana free. Mell. Mell. But even if I open a door for her, it's too little too late. She'll never forgive me after... Is her forgiveness the reason you should act? No, it's penance for what you've done to her. Atonement for your sins. Whether she forgives you or not is beside the point. The question on the table right now is whether you are going to do the right thing. And what about her blood? Without Saint's blood, Nellie won't... You don't have to worry about me, dearest Mell. My life isn't so important that I want to take someone else's away to keep it. I'm almost surprised Michelle didn't get upset for Mell saying that people don't sacrifice themselves. Yeah, well, Michelle is the bigger person here. He is more mature. I mean, he's 10 years older than Mell as well, so I mean, he should be more mature, but yeah. I think about what I can do to help too. It's partially my fault after all. So please, Mell, set the Saintess free. Your quiet life is built on a foundation of lies. And I know that by now. You realize there's no real value in a life like that. You wanted to do something about this. You sought salvation. Salvation. But who would give it to me? I already told you I would. But why? Because I promised you. And you expect me to believe that? Yes. If you choose to sit here and wallow in your regret, there's no going back. Now is your only chance to make a change. Mel. All right. I'm 10 years older than Michelle and an egg. Yeah. You're not 10 years older than him though, are you? I mean, almost, so I guess. I'll help. I'll help you set her free. Dearest Mel, I knew all along that was what I needed to do, but I could never bring myself to act on it. There was no way I could accomplish anything alone. I'm basically hopeless on my own. Everything about this is so completely outside anything I've ever had to deal with before. So I had no way of having any idea what I was supposed to do about it. God can be pretty cruel. Why would he force a boy like me to make such a difficult choice? Yes, he can be. You were made to be a part of a more normal, a less tumultuous world. But you've come too far to go back to that. So the least you can do is change the world you're in now. Yeah. I doubt I need to remind you, but you know, you can't get in with only my key. You need all three, and the other two, they don't feel an ounce of remorse. Taking their keys won't be easy. Easy or not, we have to get them. And I'm sure there's a way. There must be. Just so we're clear, you're not going to overpower them. The guy with the sword is much stronger than you, and he knows how to use the blade. And he's the Lord's bodyguard, so you're not getting near the Lord either. Even the two of us together wouldn't stand a chance against him. You seem pretty weak from the looks of you. Who knows? Maybe I am stronger than you. God, I really do want to hit this boy. Deep breaths, Michelle. Deep breaths. There must be some way we can get their keys. I know they both have people they're close to. Huh? People they're close to? We can talk about that later. Now that you made your decision, talking with me isn't your top priority, is it? Mel. Nelly. I'm sorry for involving you in all this. Kiss, 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 kiss. Yeah. Good call back there. And I'm really sorry for being, well, what I am. I'm no prince, that's for sure. You always were my prince though, dearest Mel. You did your best to be the brother I wanted you to be. Honestly, I adore the way you fawned over me. All that affection just felt so good. What? It made me feel like I was special, important. Having someone to care for, to pamper, it was empowering. That's the kind of guy your brother is. If someone else, some other girl were ever to show up and call me her prince, say she loved me, I would probably try and act like a prince for her too. Why would you say that? Because all this, it's been so hard on me, such a huge weight on my shoulders, that every so often I would think, just how much easier would it be if I could get rid of her? If Morgana was just a regular girl, not a saint or a witch or any of that, just a pretty girl about my age, she might have been the one getting all my attention instead of you. That's who I am. That's not you, dearest Mel. You're just beating yourself up. Maybe you would have chosen her over me, but that wouldn't make you any less of a kind man.
How can you say that, after everything I just told you?
Because Mel,
Tell me how despicable I am, Nelly. I'm not the brother you once adored anymore, am I?
You're not what I thought you were. But you're still my one and only brother. That will never change, no matter what kind of person you become. It was wrong of me to try and make you into my prince, Mel. I should have done my job as your one and only sister in the whole wide world, been there to help you as much as you helped me. I kept pushing my fairy tale fantasies onto you. And you did your best to live up to them, and I ended up forcing you to pretend to be someone you're not.
That's not true, Nelly. I enjoyed feeling idolized. But you knew it couldn't last forever, didn't you? Oh, sorry, that was Nelly.
I should have been beside you, not looking up at you. I let you coddle me. I let myself indulge in your love. I thought everything would be alright as long as you kept telling me how adorable I was. They were like magic words to me. I kept my eyes shut. Mel, starting today, I'm going to do my best to be your sister. I'm all done holding you to fairy tale ideals. I won't make you pretend to be a prince for me anymore. And I won't try to be your princess either. I'm just going to be your little sister. So get back on your feet and stand tall, dearest Mel. I know you probably have to pay for what you've done when the Saintess goes free. And I know I'll probably cry about it for days. But I won't regret making the decision.
Well, I don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting you to handle this so maturely. You're putting your big brother to shame, Nelly. Mother once told me that girls grow up faster than boys. She was right about that. Thank you, Nelly, for accepting me, in spite of all the awful things I've done. And for having me as your brother.
You're quite welcome, dearest Mel.
Nelly starts bonking Mel for being dumb, yeah. Well, it looks as one problem solved. They finally reached a point in their relationship where they belong. If she could have come to terms with herself sooner, come to an understanding with him, then maybe she could have reeled in her ideals before she lost control of them.
Yeah, maybe.
This Nelly and the other Nelly seem to be of the same essence. They both have a somewhat excessive love for the brothers. And that love expressed itself by transforming him into a prince. If she could have done the same thing then as she did here, then maybe that tragedy could have been avoided. This is before then, though. Since they were able to fix things up in this life, maybe they'll have a positive effect on the next life. This could change the future. They may share the same souls, but they lived in completely different times. Do you really think something like this could have any effect on the lives of people hundreds of years from now? There's no way to be certain, of course, but considering how tightly the two seem to be bound, I doubt it will have no effect. I hope it has some effect. Giselle. I was there in the mansion as it all happened, and I just stood by and watched. I feel so guilty about that. If I had done something, then maybe it wouldn't have turned out like that. I hate what I was then. What I was until just recently. From the memories I left imprinted throughout the mansion, I showed you bits and pieces of their lives. And as I told you their tale, the only thing I contributed was disparaging commentary. I don't feel like you were that critical of them. I absolutely was. I talked about them like they were somehow beneath me. Yes, you did occasionally offer an opinion on someone or something you showed me beyond the doors. But the fact that you were mostly detached from the events there, is what allowed me to get to the core of their characters. If you hadn't been in the position you were, so you could tell me the story the way you did, I would never have been able to talk them into helping. You contributed more than criticism. Your words weren't for nothing. They made this possible. I still think changing the future will be a bad thing. You two won't be able to meet. Yeah, I think changing the future is something you shouldn't meddle with. Absolutely. I remember when I did this part, when I read this story the first time, I was really worried the whole time because I felt like we shouldn't be doing this. But yeah. It made me feel a lot better hearing that from you. And if you still regret your inaction, then make up for it now by taking action here, and have faith that it will bear fruit in their next lives. I will. I wonder if Morgana might have a change of heart too. It's not like Mell wanted to bring her so much pain. He deeply regrets what he did, so maybe she won't bear quite as much resentment for him when she learns that. Yes, I know what you're going to say. If that was enough to assuage her, she wouldn't have held on to her hatred for all those hundreds of years. Still though, I hope it does something for her, however small. As do I. Anything you do will change the future though? Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, even them just being here might, like, have some bad effects. So yeah. And exponentially, depending on how long ago it happened. Yeah, very true. So, as I said, I was very nervous about this part because I have seen enough Let's Change the Future stories to know how badly it can go. It's gotten pretty late, so I'm going to take Nelly back to the cottage. Okay. If you have some secret plan to get the other 2 keys, could you fill me in on it tomorrow? Sure. Also, I could get you another room if you wanted. This one isn't the nicest. Ah, no, it's fine. I come to realize I'm more at home in less comfortable environments. Michelle? Am I just imagining it, or was that as depressing as it sounded? That's not quite what I was going for. Well, anyway, if you're fine with it, suit yourself. Say, I got one huge lingering question, if you wouldn't mind enlightening me. Yes? Why would you go to such lengths for me? You seem to know Morgana, so I can understand why you would be fighting for her. But me? I had a part in putting her in that tower. You have every reason to hate me. So why would you want to help me? If this was all it took for me to hate someone, I would curse every last man and woman in the world. I bear no animosity for you. And even if I did, you committed to take action. That doesn't explain why you were so concerned about us. It almost seemed like you actually cared about me and Ellie. But we're complete strangers. We just met today. Because some part of me couldn't think of you as strangers anymore. Huh? That's right. When he came by this afternoon to talk, he didn't feel like a stranger to me either. It was weird, like he knew me my whole life. So I made him into my second brother. Your second brother? You're more than welcome to change the order, Nelly. Make him number 2 and me number 1. Ah, I wish I could join in and be big sister number 1. I'll have to think about it. After all that, you might be number 1 material. Whoa! Why is that even up for consideration? I'm just kidding, dearest Mell. Oh. I'm still kinda confused, but anyway, I'm glad someone like you showed up. I've actually been praying every night for God to send someone who can get me out of this. I really am useless all on my own. Constantly looking for someone to help me, unable to do anything by myself. And trust me, I realize how pathetic that is. Now you must have a pretty good life to be able to be so proactive in the face of adversity. I bet you had everyone's respect, helped people in need, had plenty of friends who had your back, and weren't tossed out by your family like I was. You must have been incredibly blessed. I'm jealous, really. Sorry, that came out of nowhere, I know. Well, I should be going. See you tomorrow. Good night, Michelle, brother number 2. Good night. Michelle, he wasn't trying to be... Yes, I know. I just thought it was rather funny. I'm not taking a stand because I've been blessed, but because I got nothing left to lose. I fight for Morgana because I understand what it's like to be tortured day after day. Having experienced the loss of my siblings, I didn't want the 2 of them to go through the same thing. If anything, it's those who have lost the most that are most likely to take action. I'm not sure if you realize it or not, Michelle. But you've gotten to be a great deal more expressive since arriving in this era. I can't see your face, but I can hear it in your voice, and I can feel it in your presence. So I'm sure it's showing there too, making all sorts of faces I've never seen before. Some of the things you've lost, you seem to be getting back. So you can't say you got nothing left to lose anymore. Promise me you'll let me see all the new faces for myself someday. I will, I promise. If we can manage to destroy the mansion, that should release you from its darkness, and allow us to see each other once again. I trust you. I have faith we can do this. Wait, but with the mansion's destruction, both our souls should be returned to their rightful places, which would mean erased from existence. Giselle? What? I just thought... I sensed you grimacing. Ah, wow, you felt that? What's the matter? Sorry, I didn't want to bring down the mood. It's just, well... And I know this is asking for the moon, but... I was just thinking it would be nice if you had a life you could go back to. If I did. Yeah, I mean, here you are, expressive as you've ever been, walking around outside, being around other people, talking to them, after all that time in the mansion, and without a life of your own to go back to. I'm sorry. After seeing behind your door, and learning how cruel and inhumane your life was, sorry, I can't read. And learning how cruel and inhumane life was to you, I feel like the world could stand to do something good to make up for it. It's done all the good it needs to. I have someone who cares enough to lament my fate. What more could I ask for? Michelle. Thank you, Giselle. You're not the only one who's asking for the moon either. I wish I could have a life with you as the person I am now. And for that, knowing I have no future, feels worse now than ever before. Alrighty, that's enough moping around for one night. We should start planning for tomorrow. Things are definitely looking up. It only took one day to get Mell on our side. So let's keep it up and win over the other 2. I would certainly like to, yes. Psh! Where did all that confidence go? The other two won't be nearly as easy to convince as Mell. I'm not even sure if he will be able to talk them into helping. We do have a pretty good idea of who's the swordsman in this for, though. The nun. So maybe we can get to him through her, like we did today with Nellie and Mell. She's definitely reading his mind. Yeah, they do know each other quite well by now, so... maybe. Alright, then we start by approaching her tomorrow. Sounds like a plan. The lord, though. Him I'm not so sure about. I'm assuming he's from behind the third door. But we didn't run into anyone he was close with today. And in Morgana's telling of the events of the Harvest Festival, she only mentions 5 people. Let's see. The Lord, the Swordsman, Mell, Nellie, and the nun? There's one person unaccounted for. We just haven't run into them yet, that's all. If he's the man from the third door, I can't imagine she won't be here too. Who's losing their confidence now? In any event, tomorrow we talk to the nun. I only hope it goes as well as it did today. You got me, you don't have anything to worry about. Or, all things considered, you might not even need me. No, I wouldn't say that. You handled Mell pretty amazingly though. I'm not going to lie, my heart was pounding the whole time. I was afraid you were going to slip up and say something boneheaded. But you managed to keep it together, and I didn't have to come to the rescue. Well... I could make a book of quotes of your performance today. Oh, for the love of God, please don't. So I'm not concerned at all. Say whatever you think is the right thing to say. I'm more than happy to sit back and watch. The more you pile on the expectations, the more afraid it makes me that I'm going to trip up. Besides, I don't think I could have done any of that without you. Why not? Well, my life was hardly as pride-worthy as Mell seemed to think, so I didn't really feel like I had a right to talk to him like that. But knowing you were there, urging me on, was what allowed me to act without hesitation. So, thank you. No thanks necessary. But if you say so, then you're more than welcome. I'm glad I could be of assistance, if just a little. That you were. Now, let's keep this momentum up tomorrow. It's getting a bit late though. You should probably get some rest. What is it? I kind of don't want to sleep. What? Why not? For somewhat childish reasons. Ah, you said you won't be able to hear my voice? Are you lonely, you poor, poor dear? I am. What? That's the last thing I expected you to admit to. Okay, well, do you want to stay up and talk for a little longer then? Not too long though, you need to rest up for tomorrow. And who knows, maybe I'll show up in your dreams if you wish hard enough. The fact that I'm even able to talk with Giselle right now is a miracle and a blessing. So is it avarice for me to yearn for more, knowing I've already been granted such a great bounty? I want to see her face as much as she wants to see mine. She's infinitely more expressive than me, and I want a good long look at all those many expressions up close. I want more than a voice. I want her whole body. I want to feel her warmth. In this era, I have all 5 of my senses in full working order, as I did when I was alive. Giselle, though, she doesn't. She remains dead. As lively as she may be now, that's one thing she did not get back. I truly wish she could have been here too. She would have certainly found more joy in her renewed life than me. And she certainly belongs under the sun far more than I do. But she, rather than me, was the one left behind in that realm of darkness. A fact that frustrates me immensely. In life, I would have considered her remark about seeing her in my dreams silly and saccharine. But now, I very much hope it happens. Oh, they're so cute. Two days until her death. And I think I need to go to the bathroom and also stretch a bit if I'm going to survive this. I think we can go for a bit more. So yeah. But let's take a short break. A bathroom break and stretching. So please, if you guys feel as stiff as I do, stand up, stretch a bit. And I will be back quite soon. So don't go anywhere. See you. Alright, I am back. I'm ready to read some more. So, yeah, let's keep reading. Wake up. Come on. Wake up, please. Come on, up with you. Oh, thank goodness. You were out so good I was scared you might be dead for a minute. Good morning. How are you feeling? What? Huh? Why are you looking at me like I just kicked your cat? It's incredible how much more pleasant it is to be woken up by a woman than a boy. That's the thanks I get for waking you up? Or did I interrupt a nice dream? I did, didn't I? And it was a dirty dream too, I bet. You definitely seemed like a mind-of-the-gutter kind of guy. I will murder you.
Whoa! Let's not be hasty now. You said you were going to help me out. That doesn't sound very helpful. And the worst part is how similar his wake-up call was to Giselle's. I'm just kidding. And you know, I can get up on my own. Fair enough, I guess. Though, put yourself in my shoes for a sec. Got to mind who, where, I do not know such people. Yeah. We don't know them here. I came in and you were still as a corpse. It startled me enough that I took your pulse. He touched me while I was sleeping. It was faint, but it was there. That's wonderful news. They're handing out breakfast in the dining hall. You can go get a plate yourself if you want. It's just some bread and wine though. Dining hall. There's quite a crowd. All the people here helping with the festival prep, so you should probably hurry if you want to get some. Hold on. I need a minute. My mind's still waking up. First off, I thought you said the church wasn't offering boarding at the moment, so why a dining hall? Ah, right, it's not, but they do still offer breakfast. For free, of course. David, know he's surrounded by innocent and pure people. Yeah. It looked like he was smiling during the realization that Mell touched him. No, I think it looked more disturbed, like, what the heck? But I don't know. Maybe you can interpret it in different ways. As I mentioned yesterday, the heart of the Harvest Festival is here at the church, but it's a citywide event. There are all sorts of supplies that need to be purchased, decorations made and put up, that sort of thing. So we got volunteers from the city here to help. You're eeping blind? No, I don't think you're blind. I think you can interpret it in different ways. I mean, otherwise they would have said explicitly how he felt, so, you know. I see. I believe today they're supposed to be putting up decorations outside the chapel, so the courtyard should be a bustle. The courtyard? Ah yeah, less court, more yard, really. We passed through it on our way here yesterday. Oh right, I think I know what you're referring to. So, as long as I'm here, I don't have much choice but to help with prep. I'd honestly rather set Morgana free right now, but the other two are bound to find out if either of us do anything too conspicuous. So for now, I should stick to my routine, at least where people can see me. That would be the smart thing to do. Yeah. Anyway, let me know when you're planning on doing anything. If there's anything I can do to help, I will. I'll let you know. Okay, well, I should get going. See you later, I guess. Mell, do you know where I could find a nun? Her? She should be in the dining hall. Thank you. And the other two men? The Lord and his bodyguard. They're only around early mornings and nights, so I doubt either of them are here right now. Why only then? That's when we go into the tower. Though even if they were on the property, you wouldn't be able to just walk up and talk to them. Especially not the Lord. Also, I don't keep track of where they go or what they do, sorry. I don't really want to know what they're up to. So I kept my distance. Understandable. Thank you anyway. See you later. He's holding it together fairly well, all things considered. Finally resolving to do something about Morgana took a big weight off his shoulders, I guess. Oh, Giselle. Good morning, Michelle. Morning. It's a bit soon to be feeling relieved, I think. There's still work to be done before Mell can face Morgana. That first step is still a big one, though, at least for him.
I suppose. Anyway, it sounds like the Lord is going to be difficult to make contact with, which is what I was afraid of. Our only opportunities are when he's here to feed Morgana. Mell did say he didn't keep close tabs on the two of them, so there might be more than just that. First priority is getting you fed though. So off to the dining hall we go! Out of curiosity, did you sleep at all? Ah, haven't been sleepy once since I became the maid. But I'm used to it, so don't worry about me. You said you see what I'm seeing there in the darkness, didn't you? That's what it looks like, at least. Which means when my eyes are closed, she has no light at all. Maybe I shouldn't have gone to sleep after all. I know what you're thinking, Michelle. And no, you're wrong. You need your sleep. You won't have the energy to do anything if you don't keep yourself well rested and nourished. You're right. We should get going. To the dining hall! Remember going bowling with a friend when we got the ball, went ball go where the mind is? Yeah. That's a good saying. I make my way through the halls to the room with the fireplace, the area I use as a living room, and the area currently serving as a dining hall. Sitting in the center of the room is a long table, lined with bread and wine. Standing behind the table and handing out food to the long line of people is a nun. This being a church, no one is speaking especially loudly, but there's still an indistinct buzz hanging in the air as dozens of people whisper back and forth. The majority of people in the room look poor, like they genuinely need assistance, but there are a handful of those who look more than well off. That's a lot more people than I was expecting. They don't turn anyone away. Which, as I recall from Morgana's account, nearly drained the church of everything it had once. They don't seem to be for want of supplies at the moment, though. I assume that's thanks to the Lord's patronage. Most likely, yes. In any event, I doubt we're getting anywhere near her in the mornings. She looks like she got her hands full. That doesn't change the fact we need to speak with her. I'm going to try to squeeze past the crowd. What? Michelle, wait a sec! Hey now, not cutting in line, young man. We've been waiting since dawn. Please, let me through. I have business with the nun. I ain't letting you through just because they told me to. This is important. No more important than any of our business. Our lives depends on this food. So get your tail to the back of the line. Here we go. What seems to be the trouble? Could I ask for a moment of your time? I need to speak with you. Well, as you can see, I'm a bit occupied. It won't take much of your time, I promise. But it's very important you... Give it a rest already, young man. Can't you see she ain't interested? Give me a hand getting this guy out of here, fellas. What? Wait. Just don't get rough, okay? Of course, our saintess. Pick it up, young man. You need some time outside to cool off. Stop! Watch the hair! That went well. Exactly, Michelle. Exactly. That went extraordinarily well. You know, Michelle, sometimes I can't decide whether you're calculated or reckless. And now I realize I never got that bread. We should wait and try to talk to the nun when she's not so busy. She has to have some free time during the day. You're right. What do you say we take a look around the mansion while we're waiting? Who knows, maybe we'll run into someone else. Alright. Don't let it get to you. Same sort of start as any time you play Bloodborne. Thanks. Thanks. But yeah, true. As Mell had said it would be, the mansion was packed compared to yesterday, and most everyone I saw appeared to be excited for the upcoming harvest festival. A number of them even greeted me as we passed in the halls. They were so nonchalant about it, I wasn't quite sure how to react. I was amazed that anyone, let alone multiple people, would treat me so normally, considering how far from normal I looked. There were a few surprised looks, of course, but no one called me a demon or an angel based solely on my appearance. Perhaps they were just used to seeing people of all different colors around the city, so they had an easier time accepting the way I looked. No matter what the reason though, it was quite nice being treated normal. After meandering through the mansion for a while, I made my way to the chapel. Despite knowing I had no way into the tower, part of me still wants to be near it. So I head around to the back side of the podium, where the stained glass window towers over me. It's the same as I remember. I've always loved this window. It makes me feel like I've got an angel watching over me. Had I been given a different name, maybe I would feel the same. That said, I don't dislike it as much as I used to. I'm glad to hear it. Off to the side at the very back of the room is a door leading to the observation tower. It's chained shut, though that's no surprise. The lock is the same as the one I saw back in the mansion. But the chains are just regular chains. They're not glowing with that awful black light. They're simply dull and grey. If only I had an axe, then we could just chop the door right down. I don't think an axe would help. If it were wood, maybe, but this is metal, and rather heavy at that. You never know. Hit it enough and anything will break eventually. We'd been changed ourselves long before we made it through this door. What are you doing here? Ah! It's him! I was under the impression you and the Lord were only around mornings and nights. And why would you know that? Imagine Giselle seeing a TV for the first time. She would probably be quite excited, I think. Metal door versus fist, what would break first? Probably the fist, right? Oops. Who are you? He's getting suspicious, Michelle. I'll take care of it. I'm a friend of Mell's. A friend of his. Does that surprise you? Never once have I seen a friend of his before. He has plenty of friends, I'm sure. No one has had an opportunity to pay him a visit, that's all. Never mind the boy's social dealings. Was he the one who told you my schedule? That I work for the Lord? I got to be careful what I say here, or it's going to start getting suspicious of Mell. I asked him. Asked him what? I heard some talk around town saying the Lord was seen coming in and out of this estate on more than one occasion. Naturally, that caught my attention. A lowly peasant like myself almost never has the opportunity to cross paths with the Lord. So, hearing he was a regular visitor here, I was hoping to have the honor of catching a glance at him. When I asked Mell about the Lord, he mentioned he had a bodyguard, which got me wondering, what kind of person would someone so distinguished entrust his life to? Dig around too much and you're liable to end up in the ground yourself. So he told you I was the Lord's bodyguard. Was he not supposed to, for some reason? No. It's true. I am his bodyguard. The question is, how did you know it was me? It wasn't difficult. You do rather stand out from the crowd. From Mell's description, I was able to recognize you almost immediately. If our roles were reversed, You would have similarly little trouble identifying me from a short description. The only thing distinct about me is my race. Where do you come from, if I may ask? Beyond the Silk Road. From the east, then? What country? Is that of any of your concern? No, I'm just curious. Why is your hair white? Why are your eyes red? They're naturally that color. Is that so? Nature can be quite the ball and chain. Is it just me, or does it sound like he's sympathizing with you? It's hard to say. Honestly, I'm still having trouble reading him. Either way, it sounds like he bought your explanation. So it does, which is a relief. Now, what business do you have with this door? The door was not my objective. I came to look at the stained glass window. I happened to notice a door with an unusual lock off to the side, so I got curious and went to look at it up close. The area behind the pulpit is off limits. I was unaware. Maybe I'll have to put ropes up then. Why is it off limits though? Is that any of your concern? No, but the way you're talking about it has piqued my curiosity. Do you not know how to keep your nose out of places it doesn't belong? Get out of here, and don't come back. As you wish. Hold on. Yes? Your name. Michelle. Michelle. Almost the same as the angel there. That would be because I was named after him. I see. What an unfortunate name. I despise angels. May I ask what yours is? I have no name. You don't have... What do you... No, never mind. Farewell. Oh, wow, that was scary. He does not want anyone getting near that door, huh? I thought he was going to pull his sword on you. I wonder, would I die if he tried to kill me? There aren't many people who could get away from a blade like that, especially in his hands, unharmed. You're probably right. Having already died once, the idea of doing so again feels wrong, somehow. You managed to talk him down, though. I'm surprised. You're quite an accomplished liar, Michelle. Such a friendly swordsman? Yeah, very friendly. Is that so? It's hard to believe that was the same awkward, stuttering Michelle I know and love. Am I really that much of a bumbling fool normally? I wonder what he was doing back there, though. It's well past dawn. Standing watch, presumably. With as many people as there are roaming about, he's probably worried about people like me getting near the door. I doubt he plans on spending much time anywhere else until the festival's over. And with him on guard, we've got pretty much no access to the door. I sure hope we can talk him over to our side. Mell was never an enthusiastic accomplice. His guilt is what allowed us to win him over and get him to confess everything. On the other hand, he's not likely to be so forthcoming. It all depends on how deep his ties to the nun are. Presumably, she's the reason he's involved. He has taken to the same approach as another character. Stab, stab, stab. I'm not sure who you're referring to here. That said, we managed to communicate well enough.
Are you still sore that I called you awkward? No, I don't mean me. I mean him. What? Oh. He was far from rational or coherent when he was living with you in the mansion. You're right, he does seem like a completely different person here. Losing his memory in the shipwreck was probably what triggered his transformation into the beast. So I guess this must be what his was like before that. What he carries inside him is no different now than it was then. He's simply able to hold himself in equilibrium now. He's keeping a balance between his rational human side and his violent beast side. He does somewhat remind me of Bestia during a short period of calm. That, or the glimpse we got of him on the ship, while he was still a merchant. I would say that's probably closer to the man here now. Huh? The ship? You were the one who showed me the memory. What? I have no recollection of that. I'm not sure he's the stab sort though. More slow and cruel torture. Yeah. Though they hinted that in this time he saw his cruel nature as a ball and chain, or his sane side. Yeah. I do think so. He definitely is still the same person, so he likes to torture people for fun. Which we sort of saw, or he can be more quick about it too, as we saw like when he attacked the carriage with the slaves that Morgana told us about. I don't think he really tortured those people. It was quite a quick affair, so I guess he's a bit of both, depending on the mood. But he doesn't want to be this way. He wants to be more peaceful, like he yearns for that sort of tranquility. Oh yeah, you also mentioned seeing another woman's memories behind the second door, didn't you? From outside the mansion. You didn't see them though, as I recall. All I am aware of is what took place within the mansion, as well as whatever Morgana felt like telling me. Resonation. What? Nothing. Morgana mentioned something about me resonating. I don't know why I would be capable of such a thing, but because of what it allowed me to see, it's all but impossible for me to ignore the plight of these people. Anyway, the point is, however rational he may appear, we mustn't forget that that is not the whole picture. He is as much a killer in this life as he was in his next. He's a man of many faces. The gentleman who was around his lover, the brutal, merciless man who was on the ship, and the beast that lurks beneath it all. Everyone acts differently depending on who they are around. But there's something unsettling about how he does it. I do wonder what he meant when he said he had no name. As I recall, he was from somewhere far, far away in the second door. And it looks Asian here too, so maybe he's from the same country. He's headed across the Silk Road, so the eastern end of the continent presumably. I wonder if he has the same name or not. It was an unusual name. Oh, what was it? Ukulele! Oh god. I mean, it sounds similar. Ukulele, Yukimasa. Bob, yes. No, that wasn't it. It was eucalyptus, I believe. Oh my goodness. It's even more funny because this is a Japanese game. Oh my god. I get the feeling we're both wrong, and that I'm further off than her. Sven, ja? Yeah, Svante. Probably. Those are most likely literal translations. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even sure if they are literal translations because they do sound similar.
Yeah, not. Yeah, exactly. Um, but I mean, either way, they are probably making fun of it in their own way. So, yeah, I think it's kind of funny. They most likely took the idea of using similar words. Yeah, exactly. Either way, it's very funny. It's not the kind of name we're used to hearing or saying. Hopefully we'll be able to get it out of him. Hopefully. But for the time being, we should go looking for the nun. I imagine she doesn't have her hands quite as full by now. Probably not. To the courtyard we go then. Wow, the crowd just keeps on growing. Are they all helping with the decoration? It would seem so. Preparation for the festival is in full force. Ah, I found the nun. She's over there. She's got a bunch of people around her though. What should we do? I'll force my way through. How about plan B this time? Michelle! Are you alright, Michelle? You went down pretty hard. Michelle is very smart. Oh, yes. Oh, you're such a weakling, dearest Michelle. I don't weigh that much. Not enough to knock you over jumping on your back. You gave me no time to brace myself. Pish posh! My Mell would have had no problem catching me, and then it would have spun me around like a princess at a ball. Unreasonable doesn't even begin to describe your expectations. Are you sure you should be running around like that? I thought you were in rather poor health. Amazingly, I'm actually feeling pretty good, and I haven't even had any medicine today. Maybe because I cleared things up with Mell yesterday. I cried my eyes out last night, but I feel better now. I'm glad to hear it. They do say health is as much mental as it is physical, so you might keep getting better if you stay positive. Just don't push yourself. Michelle going back to number 2 brother rank, yeah. And yeah, confirmed, adult Michelle is weaker than a small girl. I mean, he hasn't done much exercise and he is rather malnourished too, so yeah. Why, thank you for your concern, my dearest Michelle. She's thinking quite a liking to you. Yeah, he's been dead for years. He's been lifting a lot of candles, oh my god. Ah. How do you like that? It's nice, isn't it? I'm more not sure how to react. Oh, just go along with it. You know you want to. I wish I could be there too. I want to pat that sweet little head of hers. What do you think she is, a cat? Now that she's opened up though, I will admit she is rather sweet. Oh, there you are, Nelly. Don't run off like that, you scared me. It's not my fault you lost sight of me, dearest Mell. I'll try to keep a better eye on you. So, you came to check out the courtyard, Michelle? You know, you really stand out from the crowd. You're so pale, I could tell it was you from way off in the distance. I'm well aware of how conspicuous I am. But everyone's acting so unconcerned. It's honestly kind of disconcerting. I can't say people don't think you look unusual, but no one's afraid of you or anything. It's not easy looking different from everyone else, is it? It comes with its disadvantages, yes. And she would have to deal with the same thing. That's another thing I regret. I wish I could have treated her more like a regular person. I was hoping for a splash when Michelle gives her a head pat. And And Nellie ignoring her over-affection for Mell is quite adorable, yeah. I guess I just wasn't mature enough to accept her. You spent much of your life in a very sheltered environment. So it's only human that you would have difficulty accepting something that didn't fit with your view of the world. That doesn't make you a bad person. Regardless, you did treat her like a regular person. That's the reason she accepted your invitations to go on walks. I guess. Question. You know what she looks like, right? I do. What did you think the first time you saw it? I know that's not the most tactful question, but I thought nothing of it. I simply saw her as a person, as a girl. I see. Well, what do you know? It looks like I am the bad guy. And you're a right saint. No, I've simply seen much worse. You know, you kind of remind me of her. I do? I mean, you're much more personable than her, but... Oh, what's the word? It's not just the way that you look. But there's something a little different than everyone else about you. Like an aura or something, I'm not sure. Oh, I'm sorry if I offended you. I wasn't trying to insult you or anything. Yeah, Michelle did meet Amy, so... Very true. But I mean, like yesterday, you were talking like a prophet. I'm almost beginning to think that maybe you really did see a vision from God. Enough with all the grown-up talk already. You lost me ages ago. Ah yeah, sorry. Who cares if Michelle is a saint or a prophet or the archangel himself? Michelle is my second brother. Besides, he doesn't look all that weird to me. The saintess is probably just an ordinary girl too. I'm big enough now that I won't think badly of her no matter what she looks like. You are, yeah. And when she's free and feeling better again, maybe we can get together and bake something. That would be lots of fun. She'll forgive you, I'm sure of it. You know, maybe we shouldn't be talking about it so loudly. Wouldn't want anyone to overhear us. Oh right, sorry. But everyone's so busy prepping for the festival, I'm sure we're fine. Better safe than sorry though. As you say, dearest Mell. So, Michelle, are you here to help with prep? No, I was hoping I could find some time to talk with the nun. With all the people coming and going, she's going to have her hands full until the festival starts. Well, that's unfortunate. Is it that important you talk with her? She may be able to give us information that could assist in acquiring the second key. The second key? You're not saying she's involved too, are you? By my estimation, she doesn't know anything. She is, however, very much connected to the swordsman. Much like you acted to help your sister, I believe the nun is his driving force. Are you serious? I find that hard to believe. I mean, she's such a loving, charitable woman, and he's, well, a savage brute. A murderer. It has to be her, though. Have you ever seen the two of them acting particularly close? Never. She's kind to everyone. I've seen her talking once or twice, sure. But she wasn't acting any differently than she does around anyone else. It certainly didn't seem like they had anything going on. Maybe they're hiding it. Surely there's something between them. I would certainly presume so. Nuns aren't allowed to be romantically involved, so they could be having secret trysts. A forbidden romance! How exciting! So you need to talk with her then, Michelle. Leave it to me. You can do it? Well, right now she's showing people how to make the decorations. Weaving straw into crowns and flowers and other things. I know how to make them too, so I can take your place teaching for a little.
I appreciate it, but if anyone should be offering to help, it's me. There's a bunch of them already down, like over there, hanging off the tree branches. Can you make those? They're very intricately designed. You'd have to be really good at weaving to make those, let alone teach other how. You should take her up on her offer. He's a murderer. He's right behind me, isn't he? Yeah. Would have been something. Nelly is an expert in forbidden romances. True, true. Yes, stabby stabby, the end. You're right. Your assistance would be greatly appreciated. You got it! I'll let her know you want to talk, so just hold tight. And you, dearest Mell, are coming with me. You get to help make the decorations. I'm not good at this stuff, though. Nope, I said you're coming and that's all there is to it. With me as your teacher, you'll be a pro in no time. Yeah, alright, you win. Let's go. Nelly seems to be in good shape, and it doesn't look like last night caused any problem for them either. I'm relieved. Hopefully, they can continue down this path. They'll be fine, I'm sure. Yeah, Mell is still a pushover. That's very true, but as long as it is his sister, I think it's fine. And you can't change overnight either. You're opting to steal Lollylap? Yeah, you're very welcome. Sit tight. At least Nelly doesn't have to threaten him. Yeah, true. I pray that I will be. Now, we should have little time before the nun is available to talk, so I would really like to find some shade. Is it pretty bright out today? I thought you could see through my eyes. I can, yes. I can see what's going on, just not as clearly as you. Not enough to tell how strong the sun is, for example. I see. Are you alright? I'm fine. I say, but the backs of my eyes are starting to hurt. 2 days now, with hardly a cloud in sight. Yeah, she's just manipulating him. There you are. I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. No, no worries. I apologize for pulling you away from your duties at such a busy time. After that little surprise this morning, I figured you must really have something you want to say. I do. Something very important. And if possible, I would like to discuss it with you somewhere more private. Let me guess. You're going to propose to me? Now, you should know better than that. I am a servant of God the Father. He's the only companion I'm permitted to have. No, I just want to... I know, I'm kidding. I just wanted to tease you a bit. I can't be away for very long though, alright? I will do my best to keep it short. Okay, let's head inside and find a room then. After you. May I ask you something, Giselle? What? Yes, what is it? Is there something about me that makes people want to tease me? No, not at all. What would ever give you that idea? If you say so. Alright, you have my undivided attention. Make yourself comfortable and speak whenever you're ready.
Giselle gives the type of answer I give, yeah. And yeah, Giselle is speaking the ultimate truth with Shessa is smiling, yeah.
I'm here to help those in need. My ears are at your service. The good, the bad, the ugly, tell me anything and everything.
You're a nun. You should probably be a little more particular with your conversation topics.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I actually want to talk about you rather than myself.
About me?
You, or the people you associate with, I suppose. Are you acquaintances with that Asian swordsman?
The Lord's bodyguard? I mean, I know of him, but I can't say I know terribly much about him. What?
I was under the impression you were quite intimate with him.
Did someone tell you we were?
No, that was just the feeling I had.
Remember, I am a nun. Whatever you think you saw, you were probably imagining. I'm not allowed to give any man special treatment, let alone be intimate with one.
There's something between you two, though.
What do you mean, something between us? Maybe you should try telling her what we know about him here. His primary motivation is to keep his church running, after all.
Is he not here to keep this church, your church, in operation?
Is he... What? Did he tell you he was?
He did.
Oh, really? That's a little... No, that's quite surprising.
Michelle has a nun fetish? No. He has a maid fetish.
I hardly ever see him talking to anyone. Are you friends with him?
Perhaps acquaintances would be a better word. Nun maid? Well... I think Michelle only has eyes for Giselle, so if it was Giselle, maybe. If it is Pauline, no.
Ah, well, he seems to be a nice enough fellow.
Are you really not close with him at all?
Nope. So if he told you he was trying to protect his church, it would have to be out of a sense of gratitude, nothing more.
Gratitude for...
A while back he was in a pretty bad place in life, and I gave him some food. This was when I wasn't all the way out here, but at a church in the city.
There were other nuns there too, as I recall.
Right. We also served as an orphanage, so it was us and a ton of children. I've since fallen out of touch with them, though.
But as servants of God, it is our responsibility to offer assistance to those in need,
which is exactly what I did for him. No special treatment, I just did the right thing. So whatever you think you saw between us, there's nothing there.
You're Pauline, though, aren't you?
No, my name is Marie.
Marie? You thought the nun was Jacobo's girl? No. And Jacobo doesn't really have a girl. So... Yeah, you know who is missing? Yeah, we are missing Maria. And their name is quite similar, so... Yeah. I mean, the one that tried to kill him. Okay, yeah, that would be Maria. But yeah. But this is Not her. I mean, she doesn't look the same, so... How can that be? How can she not be her? Marie? That sounds a lot like a name we heard behind the third door. But I don't think they're the same person. I concur. There's no guarantee everyone's name has to be the same. Mel's and Nellie's were, which just made us think they all would be. That's true. And on the subject of assumptions, it's possible her connection to the swordsman is also a flawed one. Because again, all we have to go on is Mell and Nellie. Although, in Morgana's story, I'm pretty sure he said something along the lines of doing what he did to keep her church running. Was he not referring to this woman? I should get down to the courtyard then. Nellie won't be able to handle everything on her own. It would be great if you could help with the preparations too. 1 second. There's absolutely nothing going on between you. Why can't you just accept the answer I've given you? I don't like being so blunt, but you're really overstepping your bounds. I said there's nothing, and there's nothing. You have a weird theory? Let's hear it. I am all ears. Or eyes, I should say, because I can't hear you. What do I say? If she leaves now, it won't be easy getting another chance to talk to her. Will I be able to get him to tell me his story without having her on my side, though? 2 women from different timelines are the same? So you say that Marie and... Maria and Pauline are the same then? And they just like had different lives, or... Will I be able to get his key? Maybe you could try talking to him with Mell there. The 2 of you together could convince him to give up his key. When I encountered his shadow in the mansion, he told me that if I had mentioned the key to him in the past, he would have cut my head off from my shoulders on the spot. Then, should we try to find the Lord first instead? I think I'll try to shake her up. They could be, as we have not seen Maria yet. She was a master manipulator too. Yeah. It's a solid theory, absolutely. Take a leap of faith on there being something between them. Happy now? I should really get going. Hold on, just one last thing. Yes? Would it be possible for you to grant me access to the observation tower? The tower? Why? Because the Lord and his bodyguard are keeping someone in prison at the top of it. What? They locked up a girl with miracle blood. It's not very appropriate to joke about things like that. I'm not joking. The medicine you're handing out, that's real human blood. What proof do you have? I have someone else who can corroborate my story. And what proof do you have they are telling the truth? When you hear what he has to say, you'll know. But the greatest proof is his key. Sorry, but there's no way I can believe someone's being in prison here. Your claims are on the front of not only the good people who give their time, money and hard work for the church, but to God himself. Open the door and you can see for yourself. I can't. I don't have the keys. And does that not seem the slightest bit unusual to you? Does it not make you think that they may be hiding something? No, because I know what's being kept in the tower. You know? The observation tower is the Lord's personal property. He stores his money and valuables there because a church is less likely to be broken into than his manor. His money? Even thieves fear God.
So you can't understand why he would want to keep his property here. Does that actually make sense though? If he's so afraid of thieves, surely he can afford to hire guards. He doesn't like keeping guards around. Why not? Haven't you heard? There have been several failed assassination attempts. The Lord is not a bad man. He can just be rather aggressive in his work, which has a tendency to make a man enemies, some of whom want to see him dead. And keeping his wealth at hand only increases that risk. Now are you satisfied? Insist all you like, but he's not keeping money in the tower. He's got a... Are you after the Lord's wealth? Is that what this is about? Marie is in Egypt. Yeah, she is not hearing it. And also not trying to like spoil who she actually is or anything, or her name or whatever, but like, yeah, she's on the moon. But like, do you guys remember how Pauline was in the second door? She would not believe that Yukimasa was a beast. She would not have it. He was a wonderful sweet man, and that got her murdered. So, you know. It says quite a lot, I think, about who this is. In Egypt, seeing the pyramids knee deep in the Nile. Yeah. What? Again, I don't like being so blunt, but... Who do you think I'm more likely to believe? The Lord, who has been supporting me in this church, or you, who shoved up out of nowhere demanding me to open the door? I'm telling the truth. There's a dying girl in that tower. I'm sorry, and I don't want to do this, but if you keep this up, I'm going to have to call the guards. I really must be going now. The swordsman. He helped imprison the girl in the tower, so he could get the money necessary to keep your church up and running. With your help, we could stop this. Take some time to cool off. Would it have killed her to be a little more open-minded? I really hope she considers the possibility we're telling the truth, even just a little bit. If she's so defensive because she trusts the Lord that much, is she so defensive because she trusts the Lord that much? Or is her trust in the swordsman? Or maybe it's simply because she doesn't trust me. I think I'll head back to the courtyard. I need some time to consider our next move. That's a good idea. And there might be something Mell and Nelly can do to help too. Perhaps. With the non denying any involvement with the swordsman, and him being so inscrutable, I find myself at a complete loss as to how to go about crossing the wall standing in the way of getting the truth out of him. My mind brings me back to the events of the second door, the most savage of the three tragedies. The things he did then were undeniably inhuman, which makes me wonder if his perspective on these events would have any influence on Morgana's perception of him. If at all, a positive influence seems less likely. Was he man or was he beast? If nothing else, he wanted to be human in the beginning. What was it he truly desired? If he hadn't been under Morgana's curse, would he have wanted to be the same killer as he was? Blinding sunlight drives me from my thoughts. A radiance brighter, more intense than any I've been under today. Or rather, it's probably more my mind interpreting it that way because my eyes can't handle anymore. In a matter of moments, all I can see is white. Michelle? Are you alright? I feel a sharp pain,
Like someone's yanking at the back of my eyes. I'm fine. I just need some shade. Giselle's voice fades away. From somewhere, I think I can hear her calling my name, but instead of sound, all that reaches me is more pain. Then, the world starts tilting toward me. No, not the world. It's me who's falling. Alright guys, I think that's a pretty good place to end it for today. We have been gone for quite a while and I am starving. I have not had any dinner yet, so if we don't stop now, my stomach is going to start growling soon. So yeah, it's been a bit of a long stream and I'm certainly feeling it in my body more than hunger. I'm feeling a bit stiff as well. But it's been fun and we have gotten Mel's perspective and we are on our way to the second key. So we are very much making good progress. Lolly's stomach turns into a beast. Yeah, if I don't eat my pizza I have half a pizza left from yesterday. So if I don't eat that soon, yes, it will turn into a wild beast. So yeah, I'm going to go and have some dinner and have some rest. Also, my voice is starting to feel a bit strained. I'm not used to talking non-stop like this. I mean, especially these streams, the House and Fata Morgana streams, are very taxing on my voice since it's literally non-stop talking. But yeah, I had a lot of fun and it's been nice doing some good progress. Yeah, that's not good for anybody. Yeah, precisely. So yeah, I'm going to relax for a bit now. Thank you for the lovely stream. You need some red food that I can provide. Yeah. I'm still waiting for you to get over here. I mean, you can't very much provide me with red food over there, Quill, can you? Was a nice stream waiting for more. That's great. I am very excited to keep going, but we will continue with the House in Fata Morgana next week. Tomorrow we will play some more Final Fantasy VII at 16:15 GMT plus 2. And the next House in Fata Morgana stream will probably be on Tuesday next week, I think. But I will put up my schedule on Sunday as usual, so you guys don't have to worry with what I'm saying here. You will see the schedule soon enough on Sunday. Mail delivery. I mean, yeah, but if I had to wait for the mail, I would definitely be dead. I'm starving now. Sending an arm, oh my goodness, no. Too soon, Dudar, too soon. And yeah, you being homesick means that you can watch, so that's something good, even though it's not very good that you're sick, but I mean, nothing bad that doesn't come with some part of goodness, I guess. Yeah. I won't die, just go into torpor. Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm dying, so I'm gonna go and have some pizza. It's pretty good, that too. So anyway, hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow at the Final Fantasy VII stream, and I wish you all a lovely evening, all of you. So see you next time. Bye everyone.